You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Before we delve into the game, I just want to give a quick shout out to Elliot and Dawson. Elliot is from the UK, Dolphins fan. Dawson was from over the States, also a Dolphins fan. I watched the game with them. Amazing time. We was essentially surrounded by Browns fans and Vikings fans and Bills fans, but we made sure that we had our voices, we made our voices heard, and yeah, it was. I've missed watching Dolphins games surrounded by Dolphins fans, and it made me realize that we, as in me and you, really need to watch a game together. Like when you've been in London, obviously the first time we met, you were sitting elsewhere, and then for the Jags game, you were sitting elsewhere as well. I was with 5 yard lead, so I look forward to watching a Dolphins game with my brother. But how are you?
Bro, listen, it's funny you say that. Because yesterday, I was thinking, what if the first game me and Kadeem watched together were the Dolphins in the Super Bowl? So, I'm just saying, bro, mess around. You know what? We'll get into that during the podcast. Look, man.
So very quickly,
Go ahead.
would that be in the stadium?
Probably not.
I was gonna say because I'm 0-2 in stadiums. I'm not risking like same way LB can't go.
Mhm.
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't be comfortable going to a Dolphins Super Bowl game until I see the Dolphins win a game.
So what's funny is LB wanted to go to the Browns game, and he almost had tickets but didn't get them. So now he's going to the Texans game. So we're gonna find out real quick.
I'm telling you now, yeah. If halftime or the third quarter the Dolphins are losing, he best leave that stadium. He best leave that stadium. I don't care if he misses the epic comeback. He needs to leave.
Evac, we're gonna go in there and go get him. Like, hey, get up out of here.
100%.
We got to get you out, Mr. President. Get you out of here. He was gonna go to the Jets game, and then we ended up losing the Jets game. So that would have been, it just would have been funny, bro. Like, dang, bro, you can't dodge the bullet. But look, it's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. Already, man. Kadeem, bro, I was going to start the podcast and just say, did you see how Josh Allen dropped the ball? And I was going to mean it literally. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, all these, I put a tweet out there. Do you remember what I put? I put something like, y'all stop telling me how strong Josh Allen's arm is and start telling me about his accuracy, his decision making, and something else. And his turnovers. Like, yeah, y'all come holler at me about Josh Allen turnovers and his accuracy and his decision making abilities. Then tell me about how strong this man's arm is. Why is it, Kadeem, that look how big and strong he is, and look at his arm? Why is that the go-to for a quarterback, right? And not accuracy, right? So it's funny because that's how it is in the 40-yard dash. If you could run a 40-yard dash, then he's the next thing smoking. Like as any other position, he runs a 4.2 in the 40, like he's gonna be good. Nah, bro, y'all stop telling me what Tua isn't, and then like come at me with the Josh Allen talk. I don't care that Tua isn't Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You feel me? But hey, man, we got the W, man. What was the score of the game, Kadeem?
39-17.
The Miami Dolphins defeat the Cleveland Browns 39-17. And it was pretty cool. It was like a game in the first quarter. And then it was like it's no longer a game after that. So what did you make of it?
So the Dolphins win the coin toss, defer, opening kickoff. The Browns get some yards. So I was like, don't quite like that, but defense, let's do our thing. And the Browns drove down the field. Penalties helped them. I saw it. I saw on a play Bradley Chubb drop into coverage, and I was like, we ain't doing this. And when they scored the opening touchdown, I very nearly tweeted, it's good to see that the bend but break for the first 3 quarters defense has shown up today. But I didn't, because you know what, let's be positive. I messaged Drakey and said it's going to be a close game, because it just looks like it was going to be that. And the Dolphins drove down the field, scored a touchdown. And yes, it was a close game for the first quarter, but I started to get the sense that the Dolphins are going to walk away with it, and they did. That opening drive from the Browns, I don't want to say that they made Jacoby Brissett look good, but it kind of felt like 2 chunk plays: the opening kickoff, and then that like 30-yard or 38-yard pass to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Kind of set them up for success. And then obviously you get a situation where it's 3rd and 1. Emmanuel Ogbah jumps offside, neutral zone infraction. Shout out to him. His season's now over. It's a shame, but obviously we wish him a full and healthy recovery. I believe it's a torn tricep.
Yeah.
So that 3rd and 1, penalty on 3rd and 1 helped. And then there was a pass interference called against Jerome Baker in the end zone, puts him on the 1-yard line, easy touchdown. But the way the Dolphins responded has been the same all season, and it was just they literally picked up exactly where they left off last week.
Hold on, my bad, Kadeem. My bad. Victory vibes in the building, man. Like, hey, I know y'all see my setting. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the setting, you know what I'm saying? It looks different than where I'm usually at. And y'all pulled me straight out of work for this one. You know what I'm saying? So I was working and didn't even start off with the victory visor. So I had to throw the victory visor back in there, man. Yeah, victory visor is back on deck. First time the Miami Dolphins scored 30 plus points in 3 consecutive games since 2009. There's going to be a lot of that. You're going to hear a lot of stuff. First time Dolphins did this since 20 years ago. First time Dolphins did this in over 15 years. That means there's some success happening, Kadeem. And I think we found our 1-2 punch with the running backs. Yeah.
Oh, my days. Yeah.
Holler at me. What you got, man?
No, it was, I think, whilst, the running backs 100% deserve, all their flowers for the performance against the Browns. That O-line, Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson were getting to the second level completely untouched. The O-line, I saw pancakes. The O-line was mean. Friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, is now healthy. I genuinely think he has a battle to get back into the starting rotation. I think Snell at right tackle has been brilliant. I think Robert Jones at left guard been brilliant. This offensive line has allowed Tua to be sacked 9 times all season. I'm not saying the offensive line is 100% fixed, but yeah, this offensive line allowed Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson to just do what they wanted. There was massive runs. I believe Raheem Mostert's touchdown was a 24-yard run, and I don't think he was touched. This is what we wanted from Mike McDaniel's run game, and I also think, in our preview episode, you said let's run the ball, let's not allow Myles Garrett to get anywhere near Tua. I don't him and Jadeveon Clowney, I don't think they're going to near two all game.
I didn't even know Jadeveon Clowney was playing yesterday.
Same. I think at one point I was like, ain't that Clowney? I was like, oh snap, he's still there. Like,
remember when Brian Flores tried to recruit Jadeveon Clowney and he kept saying no to us?
Yeah.
Cool. Listen, bro. How about the Miami Dolphins are 7-3 and lead the division, the AFC East. We are in first place in the AFC East, the hardest division in football for my dollar, and we're in first place. I'm gonna be real with you, Kadeem. I got a couple group chats. You're in a couple of them, and I got my day one group chat. You're not in that one. We're still brothers, though. We already hashed it out.
It's all good. It's all good.
Listen, in that group chat yesterday, I said the Miami Dolphins will be the 1 seed. And we're going to the AFC Championship. Screenshot this. That's what I said in the group chat. I didn't know I was going to say it on the podcast, though. But that's what I said in the group chat, bro. Listen, man. For whoever said, oh, we can't wait to find out if Tua's how he plays in the cold. Guess what, bro? We might not get a lot of that. Yeah, we got to go to Buffalo soon. But who said the Dolphins had to be the wild card? Who said we had to come in and go to Baltimore, go to Buffalo, and go to KC to get to the Super Bowl? Who said, bro? We said this on the podcast on the last episode. So now this is Buffalo's identity. Their identity is to drop a game that they're not supposed to lose. They're good for it, bro. But I don't want to say this is a game they weren't supposed to lose. That Jet game was one you're not supposed to lose. Now they lose in the silliest way. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen throws a pick in regulation. Then there's a fumble in the end. It's wild. It's the wildest. Thank you for giving us this game, Josh Allen. We appreciate you, right? So now you have a situation, Kadeem, where the Dolphins are 7-3, and we're in a legitimate conversation of being the 1 or the 2 seed. And I imagine KC is gonna drop 2 more games. If I was a betting man, which I am, I would say KC drops 2 more games. If that happens, the Miami Dolphins just have to bear down and try to get this 1 seed. We get the 1 seed, Kadeem. Do you know what it's going to be like for a team like Buffalo or KC to go from 20 degrees in January to 88 degrees in February, bro? Or I'm sorry, in Miami, 20 degrees, or we'll call it 25 degrees in Buffalo, or 25 degrees in KC, and then fly to Miami and get smacked in the face by the humidity of the South Florida weather, because it's not going to be 60 degrees. It's not going to be 50 degrees for us. It's going to be in the 80s come January. So home field advantage once again. You're not going to cook. We're not going to cook them like we was doing in September, but it's just a difference. It's going to be a difference maker. And how do you act? Kadeem, like me and Sherrod Steve, I'm not going to share our conversation, but I know Sherrod Steve listening to this. Me and Sherrod Steve had a real conversation. Like, hey, what do we do? And I hit him up. I like, bro, I just had that text in my group chat, and I don't know, bro. We haven't been here before to have this conversation, so I'm not gonna share what the details of the conversation was. But listen, bro, I'll tell you like this, Kadeem. You know how you didn't want to watch a series once upon a time, like, oh, I don't want to watch that series. Everybody's talking about it. I don't want to watch it, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is. There are Miami Dolphin fans that don't want to buy into the hype yet. They don't want to drink the Kool-Aid. Like, no, I don't know. I don't like you have PTSD. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to buy in yet. But you're missing the series. Like, bro, this is a series. You got to watch this. And they're not buying in yet. And then next thing you know, by the time they buy in, we're already 12-3. And now they're like, oh, we're here. And like, bro, people like me and you and all the other Dolphin heads really got to appreciate all of this the entire time. Like the different episodes, like the Omar Kelly episode, like the Tua proving haters wrong episode, like the Chris Greer isn't it episode, right? It's so many episodes. The Dolphins receipts episode. Like, it's so many episodes, bro, that people are missing out on because they don't want to buy in yet. But it's cool. I have my popcorn and I watch these games with so much comfort, knowing that we're gonna come up with the W. Not arrogance, but it's just like a confidence that I have in Coach McDaniel. And it's like, bro, Chris Greer handpicked Coach McDaniel. Handpicked Brian Flores. So everybody who loved Brian Flores, like me and you love Brian Flores, Chris Greer handpicked him. Like, yo, this is going to be the guy who turns us around. And he did, but he had his own issues, and Chris Greer let him go. Same thing with Mike McDaniel. Chris Greer handpicks him. So Coach McDaniel, Chris Greer has to get credit for all these other unseen things that people say, oh, get rid of Chris Greer. Like, nah, Chris Greer is doing his job, bro. So I'm done with the Tua non-believers, and I'm done with the Chris Greer non-believers. Like, yo, we're here, we're solid, and I cannot wait to see what happens next.
And I think especially, to bring it back to the game, anyone still not believing in Tua. Tua has some throws on Sunday which were just like, yeah, again, stop doubting this guy. There's the opening touchdown to Alec Ingold, who found himself back in the box, another touchdown. But I don't know if you managed to catch the Alabama Ole Miss game on Saturday. But Bryce Young
who won that?
I turned off before the end.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. I would usually know something like that, but I don't care for it.
Bryce Young is rolling to his right, and the defender's bearing down on him. And he kind of so the guy's kind of coming from his left, Bryce Young's going to his right. Mm-hmm. And he had this slight pump fake to freeze the defender just enough so he could get the throwaway. Tua saw that and was like, hold my beer, watch this. Defender coming to him, Tua's like, pump fake, defender jumps, was like, I don't know where you're going. Touchdown pass. He had a throw to Jalen Waddle on third down. Left hash mark, Jalen Waddle's on a out route, other side of the field. The money on this pass, I think it's Greg Newsome is outstretched. I think he's 6 foot. Money. The only place Jalen Waddle can get it. And the money on that throw. Again, it's a money down and you have to get it there perfectly. If not, it's a pick six. Tell me once again, Tua done had the arm strength. The touchdown pass to Trent Sherfield, who had himself a day yesterday on Sunday, an absolute day. That touchdown pass was only to where he could get it. Only. And, I wasn't at Hard Rock Stadium, but there was MVP chance. I can see why. He's enjoying himself so much. And you can see it. The crowd see it. The players see it. And Tua was mic'd up as well. And there's a clip, it's doing the at the moment, where Teddy Bridgewater, who wasn't the backup due to a knee injury, he's talking to Tua and he's like, I'm so glad that you're celebrating these touchdowns. You're not, jogging back, looking at a tablet. You're enjoying yourself. Now the time to enjoy it. In the breakdown after the game, Mike McDaniel, before he passed over to Tua, was like, this guy won't say it, but he's playing lights out. But he won't say it because everyone knows Tua's humble. And someone goes, get your respect. And he was like, nah, something like teamwork on 3. It's like, yo, Tua, you're not going to, hype yourself up. That's not Tua. But, when Tyreek Hill in the offseason was like, most accurate quarterback I've ever played with, he's the one. Oos is the one. When all the teammates were saying it, and everyone would go, they're just saying it, all that kind of stuff. Again, he was right. Tua was right. So, yeah. Tua had himself a game. That's what, third game in a row with over 300 passing yards.
No. I don't think he had 300. It's a third game in a row with 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, yeah.
Yeah. I think he had 200, 285.
There's also I want to make sure I got it right. I'm pretty sure I saved it in my Twitter feed. If not, it's probably quite easy to find. Yeah. Tua is the first player in NFL history to have a 135 plus passer rating in 3 consecutive games. Only 2 players in NFL history have had 3 consecutive games with 275 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Well, that basically contradicts it. But basically, only him and Kurt Warner. This is from NFL and CBS. Only 2 players in NFL history have had 3 consecutive games with 275 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 135 passer rating, which kind of negates the previous thing. But even so, it's like Tua is standing alone in some of these numbers, and be it man, be it zone, it doesn't matter. He dashing people up.
Kadeem invoked easy money, and on the easy money segment in the Fins Up Friday episode, I said we can make all these exotic bets. We could come up with all these exotic props. You know what I'm saying? This plus this, and you'll get paid this. But it's called easy money for a reason. And as long as DraftKings is going to give us 1.5 over under 1.5 touchdowns for Tua, because no one else believes in Tua, because the league still doubts Tua, because Vegas isn't sure what the real Tua please stand up is. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much doubt around Tua, we are going to take advantage of it. And we're going to take the over 1.5 until they change it. Like, yo, we're going to keep smashing this 1.5 over 1.5 touchdowns for Tua. Listen, Kadeem. So I put together some bets, bro. And on easy money, we had the Alec Ingold anytime touchdown bet. We cashed out, I want to say 7 weeks into the season. It was plus 1,300. And I said, all right, it's time to pivot. Now, for those of us who, if you won the Alec Ingold bet and you came up plus 600 because, you know, so it was week 8. He cashed us out. So if you cashed out on the plus 1,300 Alec Ingold, you had plus 600. All right. Now, if you double down on the Alec Ingold bet again, shout out to you, because Alec Ingold got back in the box. But then I said, Kadeem, during the Detroit Lions game, Trent Sherfield scored a touchdown, and they said, nah, you were short, and this ain't it. You didn't get in the box. So I said the new anytime touchdown player that we were going to go with was Trent Sherfield. But there's a caveat. I said it's only valid for 2 weeks.
You did.
It's only valid for 2 weeks. If Trent Sherfield don't get in the box after that, we're not going back in. So if you just paid attention to easy money, Trent Sherfield did not get in the box versus the Bears, but he scored against the Browns, and he cashed us out. Once again, we are smacking. We're like up plus 1150 right now with the anytime touchdown bets. And then we're up with the easy money pick of the week. It's just glorious, Kadeem. Like, we're just having a ball. So I actually had, just for fun, I had a parlay, and I was kind of feeling myself. I'm like, yo, I'm going to put 2 touchdowns by Tua, a Trent Sherfield anytime touchdown, a Mike Gesicki touchdown, 5 receptions from Jalen Waddle, and 79 yards from Tyreek Hill. It came out like plus 8,000, Kadeem. But I wasn't gonna put 1,000. I wasn't gonna put 100 on it. I was gonna put like 50 on it. So let me tell you what happened. I put 50 on it, but I put the wrong prop. Y'all learn from my mistake. I put the wrong prop. I put like I want to say Jacoby Brissett 2 touchdowns and not 2 touchdowns. So I'm like, yo, I just blew $50. Let me double down, and now I spent 150-50. And I put Gesicki anytime touchdown, Trent Sherfield anytime touchdown, Tua over 2 touchdowns, or two touchdowns. I also put Miami money line, and last but not least, I put Tua over 280 yards. If you did the math, Kadeem, I didn't hit on Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill didn't go over 79 yards, but Mike Gesicki dropped the touchdown. So I would have lost regardless.
Yeah.
But to watch the game, I'm like, yo, this is wild, bro. Like you could smack around, mess around and smack for $50 and win 4 bands. Had Tyreek Hill had a regular game and Mike Gesicki catch that touchdown for you. But that's what we are, man. Miami Dolphins 7-3. And shout out to LB. LB is like a behind the scenes stat person. You know what I'm saying? He looks out for us and he sends us stuff like, hey, check this out. You know what I'm saying? We gotta find some type of position for LB, a title for the podcast. But LB sent me this and he said the last time the Miami Dolphins were 7-3 was 2001. That's 24 starting quarterbacks ago, 8 head coaches ago, 7 stadium names ago. The Heat had 0 championships the last time the Miami Dolphins were 7-3. LeBron James was in high school. The iPod came out. The iPhone was still 6 years away. Tua was 3 years old. Mike McDaniel was in his freshman year at Yale. And Tom Brady was a first-year starter. That's the last time the Miami Dolphins were 7-3.
You mentioned Mike McDaniel there. What do you make of his play calling on Sunday?
So I appreciate that timeout he called this time. Like we were driving. I want to say it was halftime. We were going in at half, and same exact situation. Three games in a row now. We're about to score before the half, and it's funny you brought that up because I believe the Dolphins are like 8-2 at the coin toss this year.
Mike McDaniel said they've got something with the coin toss, but he's also not going to say what. And I don't know if that's Mike McDaniel just being Mike McDaniel or if he's managed to genius himself a way to keep winning the coin toss.
We might be 9-1 now. I think I know it's either 9-1 or 8-2 with the coin toss, and it's a running joke now when the media availability happens. And yeah, man, it's crazy that we win the coin toss, do whatever we want at the coin toss. But anyway. His play calling, I don't really mind. I don't mind going for it on 4th down. Jason Sanders missed a couple yesterday. I don't mind the play calling. It was just certain things like you're allowed to have a bad game. Everyone is allowed to have a bad game, including the coach. So I think he had his bad game early this year, and I think he had 2 bad games back to back. Actually, we're 7-3. Doesn't matter. But he had 2 bad games back to back. And I'm like, yo, get it out the way early. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, he's only coached the team 10 times while having play calling duties and being a head coach at the same time. So I didn't mind his play calling.
There was to go for it on 4th down just before the half and obviously not get it, I was a bit like, I'm not quite a fan of that. Take the 3. He was very gutsy on the opening drive to go for it on 4th down on like around 35. I was like, yo, but it worked. And then there was the play call he had in which Cedric Wilson had the ball. And
the reverse.
Yeah. Now, I think people kind of like freeze framed it, like quarterback or coaching from the 6th office and stuff like that. And I think 2 was open. Also, Tyreek Hill was open downfield. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching, I was like, dude, at this point, just throw it away. Like, you're not going to gain anything. It hasn't quite worked. So that was a bit, don't really need to do that. But again, no one's going to bat 1,000. And again, I think it's a situation where he's feeling himself. He's like, let's try some of these trick plays now. So yeah, again, I think he, once again had an excellent game to the point where Thomas Morstead was able to nap and not punt. He was just there on the sideline. He was just like, I'm not needed today.
I could have been the punter for that game, bro.
Yeah, and it's funny. Per NFL research, the Dolphins did not punt the ball once in a 39-17 win over the Browns. That marks the first game Miami has had 30 points and 0 punts since Week 15, 1988. Do you know who Do you know who that was against? Randomly.
Who it was against?
Yep, week 15, 1988.
Week 15, 1988.
It was a Monday night game. The Dolphins won 38-31.
Can I get a all right? I'm gonna buy a lifeline here. Is it an AFC team or NFC team?
AFC.
AFC team 1988. I'm gonna use my 50-50. Is it well, I guess not a 50-50 because I just used a 50-50. Was it? I'm gonna say it was against the Patriots.
It was against the Cleveland Browns.
Oh man, right? But I knew it was either a divisional rival or something like significant, like right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
man, that's crazy.
And yeah, it was just listen. It was the game. It was I personally believe was the most complete game the Dolphins have played all season under Mike McDaniel, and it was the game I thought we'd get against the Lions, against the Bears, to the point where, you know, like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it's like, yo, Skylar Thompson, go out there. And, you know, that's the situation, you know, like Skylar Thompson was out there. We saw Savon Ahmed. Yeah. It's like, yeah, we can give some of these guys some touches. You know, we saw Skylar Thompson earlier in the season when, you know, games matter and stuff like that. But being able to put in Skylar Thompson where defense is still going to show you stuff, yeah, it was brilliant. Like, again, it's the defense. Listen, we generated 2 turnovers, one a strip, maybe 3 turnovers. One was a fumble, I think from Nick Chubb, I think it was. And I think we stopped them on 4th down twice. Bradley Chubb, you know, got some sacks, I believe. Jaden Phillips had one, and I personally thought Christian Wilkins had another excellent game.
Yeah.
And it's one of the situations where I've said in the past I want to re-sign Christian Wilkins. I think the way he's playing right now, I think it'd be a loss to lose him. But obviously, you know, you can't pay everyone, and it is what it is. But yeah, I don't think there was anyone who I watched the game and was like, you didn't play well. Like every single person. I think the worst player on the team was probably Jason Sanders, and he missed 2 extra points.
Bro, Bethel had a game.
Yes.
Bethel had a game. Kohu was good. It's like all of the reps of the corners being hurt, and now the corners have played more. The backup corners have played more. It's like maybe, I don't know if it was just the Browns, but it feels like everyone's a little, we fitting in real nice right now. And we didn't peak yet either. So because you don't want to quote unquote peak too early, whatever that means. You want to play good football the whole year. You know what I'm saying? But at 7-3, I like where we are. But I got a question for you, bro. What has to happen to keep the success going?
Can I give you the coach answer?
Negative.
Outside of, you know, just keep, like, I don't think anything needs to change. Obviously, some things still need to be cleaned up, you know. Some of these penalties are starting to be like, yo, guys, seriously. But, you know, it's not like we could turn around and say, oh, well, the run game needs to get better. Because the run game, well, obviously the run game could always get better, but you know what I mean? It's like there's genuine running lanes. The offensive line is doing great. Like I said earlier, Tua's only been sacked 9 times all season. Yes, he's missed games, but, you know, during the season as well, Joe Burrow has been sacked 30 times. Justin Fields has been sacked 36 times. Like, so the offensive line is doing their job. The defense, you know, played excellent. So, judging off the last game, you know, we're not playing perfect, but I find it hard to nail down one thing where I've got to go, you know what, we must do better outside of, again, clean up some of those penalties. I guess you can say try and find a way to, I guess if anything, clean up special teams. You know, try and stop some of these big gains. Can we, you know, on the kick and punt returns, can we gain more yards?
Well, I think the running game was solid. Like I think with a This is what it's supposed to look like when you play complementary football. The offense complements the defense and vice versa. The run game complements the pass game and vice versa. If people only worry about Tyreek Hill and Waddle, you should be able to pivot and say, no, you got to worry about this too. So now that people can't pinpoint, oh, we just got to do this and stop the Dolphins. Nah, it's not that simple. So a running game helps. And you've seen what it looks like when you can run the ball and you can pass at the same time. This is just fun. It's exciting. And I know, bro, people need to check their posts, Kadeem. Like it's time to check your post for real. And I was gonna say something, but I actually forgot about it. But yeah, man, listen, you go ahead. What are you about to
Well,
say?
I was also going to say, and it's one of those things where Mike McDaniel spoke about it on Monday, saying what we're seeing from the run game as well is wide receivers actively blocking. You know, but I also think another person who deserves a massive shout out as well is Alec Kingold, because he's excellent in the run game, but also showing up in the pass game as well. Like I think he had the most yards after catch on Sunday, and he's difficult to bring down. Actually, you know what? The way to keep this winning streak going is don't put Bradley Chubb in coverage. Like, just don't do that. just like literally, I saw him. I saw him backpedaling, and I was like, no, stop it, stop it, stop it. Like it wasn't even a stunt, and I was just like, let's not do this again. A lot of people had a great game. And Landon Roberts, like the amount of times he was there hitting Nick Chubb early. We mentioned the cornerbacks. What did Amari Cooper do? Like again, I forgot the dude was playing. But yeah, that's it for me.
Bro, the Dolphins have only punted twice in the past 3 games. That's the first time in the history that the Dolphins only punted twice in a 3-game span. And shout out to LB, he sent us this one too. The QBR versus the Cleveland Browns this year. You ready?
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, 37.2. Joe Flacco, 66.8. Trubisky, 59.5. Mariota, 27.5. Herbert, 41.3. Zappy, 57.3. Lamar Jackson, 47.8. Joe Burrow, 16.4. Tua Tagovailoa Olapola Tagovailoa, 93.7.
And a lot of those names are trash, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And people again, Tua is always going to be compared to his classmates.
So I mean, you still got Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Burrow.
That's what I was going to say.
16, 47, and 41.
Yeah, and if anything, I don't want to say Tua left plays on the field because he done amazing, but he also missed like most of the fourth quarter. So if Tua's in that game even more, we probably score another touchdown, and he just you start stat pad and stuff like that. So
to actually take it back to what you were saying about that deep out, that's the hardest football. That's the hardest pass to complete in football. Like that's what they call the NFL arm. Like, can you make the out? Can you make the out? You know what I'm saying? And that was money. But to really take it back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the episode, Kadeem. So you flying over here for the Super Bowl?
I didn't want to say anything. I think I'm not going to be around for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a cruise with family, and yeah.
Hold on. This is breaking, bro. This is breaking news. You telling me you're gonna be on a cruise? How long is the cruise?
I think it's 2 weeks.
You're gonna be on a 2-week cruise during the playoffs?
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks for you, bro.
Now, I would like to think the cruise will show the football, but I don't think I'll be able to podcast. Like,
dang, bro. Hold on. You know that you got the dates?
Yeah, I can get them.
Bro, you just brought the whole morale down on the podcast, bro. Everybody listening, like, oh man, bro, that's crazy. So how you? So you? Whoa. So the Dolphins play the Chiefs. You're not gonna be able to make it. You're not gonna be able to watch it.
Oh, okay. I'll find. I'm watching that game. Like, there's no way I'm missing games. I just won't be able to come on here and talk about how the Dolphins are going to Super Bowl.
So there's a chance you miss the Super Bowl.
No. I think I'm back. I think it's like the 14th of January to the 28th. I'll just double check this now. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's search this stuff. Date of the cruise. Please work. It is the 13th of January to the 27th of January.
Okay, so the playoff starts on the 14th. That's crazy, boy.
And the thing is, like, this is my first holiday since 2014.
So for all the American listeners, the English, they call it holidays, not vacations. Yeah. So this is your first holiday. We call it first vacation. Since when?
2014. Since before my son was born.
So Kadeem, I'm just looking now. When you say you come back?
27th.
You'll be gone for the wild card weekend. Dolphins won't be playing that week, so don't worry about it because we'll have the 1 seed. Then the second week of the playoffs, the divisional round, we'll probably play somebody like KC or Buffalo, home at Hard Rock Stadium, and you're gonna be floating in the Mediterranean somewhere.
Caribbean, but yeah.
Oh, you'd be close.
Yeah.
Hey, just tell them to drop you off here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be.
Hey, you know how to swim?
Yeah, I can swim.
So you're buoyant.
I'm what?
Buoyant,
yes. Yeah.
Bro, hold on. So hold on, like real talk. You're gonna. So you miss one game. Yeah. So hopefully we get a bye. You'll miss. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be Dolphins versus Chiefs or Dolphins versus Bills.
I'm gonna be ignorant on this cruise as well. Like, boy, come see me in it. Like, I was ignorant on Sunday. I got wild on Sunday. Like, it was. Yeah, normally I'm here by myself, and it's good to like high five Dolphins fans, look at Brown fans, go, your team is trash. What are you gonna do? Like, say something. Watching the Bills lose in that fashion, but yeah.
All right, so let's be real. So you're gonna miss week 1 of the playoffs. You're gonna miss week 2 of the playoffs, but you'll be able to watch the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
And you'll be around for the Super Bowl. So that is the question, bro. Are you coming to the States to watch the Super Bowl with us?
Probably not, no, because I won't have many holiday or vacation days to take. Now, I get like 30 days vacation or holiday. You got to say vacation now. I get like 30 days, but probably have 2 weeks for the cruise. Moving. That's gonna need some as well, and just and then if the Dolphins are in London or something like that, and again, like I said, if I come to the state for the Super Bowl, it won't be to watch it in the stadium. I'm not doing that. So, if anything, I might try and take like a long weekend, fly over, and kind of go from there. But obviously, saving up for a house, saving up for a wedding, not quite sure.
We probably wouldn't. So here's the thing. All right, we'll talk about it on another episode. We'll talk about it. A whole nother episode, bro. Listen, man, y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. This is the Victory Visor. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time.
Hey, boy, you ain't have to get all in depth like that, bro.
It happens.
I mean, I didn't know. I had no idea.
Yeah, I've been trying to get out of it for ages as well, but it's not gonna happen. Bit of fun because we won. Why not? Shout out to Drakey. So the preview episode, and you finally noticed that my Coach K headset is red and blue.
And I think someone in the comments noticed it too. Like, yo, I didn't notice either. Like, I think they said the same thing. Like, yeah, no one noticed that you had red and blue headsets.
Yeah. So Drakey, with his Photoshop skills, he photoshopped me as the New England head coach, and I must admit he's done an excellent job.
Bro, listen. Everyone listening to the audio version of Go Time Dolphins. One of the Go Time Dolphin listeners, which we appreciate you, Drakey, for doing this, has made the most epic Photoshop of Coach K and put him in a hoodie with no sleeves with his red and blue headset, and he looks like Coach K of the New England Patriots. That's what you get, Kadeem. You get Photoshop into that because you had a red and blue headsets talking about your sleeveless hoodie that you had too, bro.
I apologize. But it is an excellent. We'll share it on our socials as well.
We're gonna share it on social media as well, bro. This is an epic Photoshop. Like, oh my goodness. Look at
even
you,
like
bro.
Even like the way like the mic is like cut out perfectly as well. Like it's yeah, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh my goodness. Shout out to Drakey for that one.
Jakey, thank you very much. And then I have a question for you. So on a bye week this week, but one name which is being bandied around other teams is Odell Beckham Jr. Now, I got asked today on Mike on the Mic, haven't spoken for quite a while. He was like, what do you make of Odell Beckham Jr. coming to Miami Dolphin? Odell Beckham, obviously, probably going to want to go to a contender, try and get another ring. Why not come to Miami? Looking at contenders right now, try and get another ring. Before I give you my answer, Odell Beckham to Miami. Who says no?
Miami says no.
And why do Miami say no?
Well, I actually think they both say no, actually. And I'm going to tell you why. Oh, well, Miami says no because you got to be careful with chemistry of your football team and of your locker room, and not saying we don't have a strong enough locker room that can handle different personalities. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, it's almost like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, and this is not just locker room now. This is also what will he do? What role is he going to play? Is he going to play the Cedric Wilson role where Cedric Wilson only gets 7 snaps a game? You know what I'm saying? Is that the role he's going to play? Or is he going to take the Trent Sherfield role where you have to be able to block 28 times a game if you're Trent Sherfield? You know what I'm saying? He's not going to take that role. And then obviously he's not taking Waddle's role or Tyreek Hill's role. So now you're going to make a new role for him? I doubt it. So I think the Dolphins say no. I don't think it's not about not having a need, but it's also like what does he bring to the team and what role will he play? So I don't think we Adam think the Dolphins say no, but I also think Odell says no because he's had 2 ACL surgeries. He's getting up there in age, up there in his career. What he can afford is a 1-year contract with new team, just because you're a just because you want to go to a contender. What I think he wants is a last contract. Like, I want 3 years with one last team. That's the best sell he can make, because it's like, I'm trying to max out one more time and get as much money as I can one more time. So I think that's what he does. I think they both say no.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't know what. Like, I don't think the Dolphins really need him. Like, again, asking me this question on the back of Trent Sherfield just having the game he just had. I was just like, right now the clear 1, 2, 3 are Waddle, Hill and Sherfield, and it's an excellent trio. What the role he probably takes is the Braylon Sanders role, but you barely see Braylon Sanders. Cedric Wilson is again essentially a glorified, punt and kick returner. And is Odell Beckham Jr. better than Trent Sherfield? Maybe at one time he was, but again, Trent Sherfield offers so much more, liquid in the run game and stuff like that. So I would just like I wouldn't go near it. I don't think you need to go near it. It's not like the Dolphins have an issue where it's only Waddle and Hill and no one else is producing. It's like, and even then I'd be like, do you really need him? So
right.
Yeah.
And yeah, now, to be fair, Odell is better than Trent Sherfield, but he will not be used like Trent Sherfield. Like the willingness of Trent Sherfield to throw his body into a block every other play, that's not what Odell's going to do. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mike McDaniel, by the way. He's learning. Like we said this before. He knows whenever Waddle and Hill comes out, it's usually a run. And now he's running play action off of that. Oh, Waddle and Hill's out. We're going to play action now. So yeah. I love it. Mike McDaniel knows what he's doing.